Hello everyone. We move on to the next chapter, which again is the last basic chapter that I keep talking about, and that is logarithms. So to begin with, we are not going to start with the chapter in any way. To begin with, I'm going to start with a slightly different exercise. What I'm going to start with is we are going to learn how to take a log. Why is it required? Where are we going to use it? When are we going to use it? Is none of your business right now. All you need to understand is how to take a log. So before I begin, I want to discuss the sheets that I have shared with you. There are a total of 3 sheets that I have shared with you. Sheet number 1 is this, which is your logarithms question sheet. This has all the question paper, the questions in it. Sheet number 2 is a sheet or a PDF that has 2 pages to it. One page has all this, and behind it, or the second page, will have this in it. Correct? And the last and the third sheet is this. This sheet has a total of 4 pages, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4. It has 2 tables, table 1 and table 2. Each table has 2 pages. So a total of 4 pages in total. These are the 3 sheets that you must have with you when I start the chapter. So these 3 are the 3 sheets that you must have with you when I start the chapter. So these are the 3 sheets that you must have with you when I start the chapter. Like I said, what are we going to do? We are going to learn how to take logs. So, without any further delay, how do you take log of a number? So, log of a number has 2 parts to it. Now, if you've done mathematics in your 11th, 12th, that is your plus 2 level, then you've done this. Even if you have done this, there's a good chance that people skip the chapter because it was there at your plus 1, it wasn't there at your plus 2 as a basic chapter. So people tend to forget it if you haven't used it. Commerce students tend to forget it because they don't use it as much. If you're a science student, you've used logarithms over and over and over again so many times that it's going to be almost difficult or impossible to forget it. No matter what kind of a student you are, I'm doing it from basics. Log of a number has 2 parts to it. One part is called the characteristic. And the other part is called the mantissa. One part is called the characteristic, while the other part is called the mantissa. The characteristic, you decide. What do you mean by you decide? Which means the decision of the characteristic can be made by you. You do not need any table to tell you what the characteristic is. I know when I start this in the beginning, it might sound a little, something that is completely, something that you've never done before. But it's okay, just humor me, play along with me. Log of a number has 2 parts. One part is called the characteristic, while the other part is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide. What do you mean by you decide? You will decide what the characteristic will be. Now, how will the decision be? Can you write down anything that you want to? No. So the characteristic is decided by number of places before the decimal minus 1. Log of a number has 2 parts. One part is called the characteristic, the other part is called the mantissa. What is the characteristic? The characteristic you decide. How do you decide it? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. Mind you, it is not the number before the decimal. It is the number of places before the decimal. This is it. I want to stop here. I'm going to quickly make a recap. We are doing logarithms. What are we doing? We are learning how to take a log. Why? Where are we going to use it? None of your business. All you have to do is learn how to take a log. Log of a number has two parts. One part is called the characteristic, while the other part is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide. What do you mean by you decide? The decision is left up to you. It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. So let's stop here and now come to another sheet that I have shared with you. This is the sheet. Now what I want you to do is I want you to quickly pause the video, and on a full page I want you to draw this table. Let me discuss the names of the columns and then start writing them. Column number 1 says number, N-U-M-B-E-R. Column number 2 says number of places before the decimal. Column number 3 says characteristic is equal to number of places before the decimal minus 1. Column number 4 says number without the decimal. Column number 5 says approximating the number. Column number 6 says mantissa, and column number 7 says logarithm is equal to characteristic plus mantissa. So if you've understood the top headings of every column, I want you to pause the video and draw this table in your notebooks, and in the number column write down all these numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the sheet here for a while so that you can pause it here and write down the column heads, and then I'm going to hold it. This will still not fit. Let me unzoom a little. Yeah, then I'm going to hold it like this, and these are all the numbers. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video here, write down the column headings and write down all the numbers. While you're doing that, if you have a printer at home, you actually do not need a printer. If you have a printer at home, take a printout of this page. If you don't have a printer at home, it's okay. All you have to do is draw this table. So I'm guessing now you have the table ready with you. What are we going to do? I'm going to do it in the table itself. So I'm not going to draw a new table. I hope you have the table ready. Again, we are going to take log. Log of a number has two parts to it. One part is called the characteristic, while the other is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide, which is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. That's right. Let's come back to the table. This is the table. I'm going to zoom it a little. What we are going to do is we are going to take logs. So till we reach the last logarithm, there are different columns that have to be followed. We are going to do this one column at a time. We are first going to find the characteristic for every number. So I have to take the log of 23.6. Log of a number has two parts. One part is the characteristic, the other is the mantissa. The characteristic you decide. What do you mean by you decide? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. So step 1 is I'm going to count how many places do I have before the decimal, and that is why I have given you a column that says number of places before the decimal. How do you count it? This is the decimal. Is that right? Before the decimal, there is a 3 and a 2. So can I say there are 2 places before the decimal? I'm going to repeat this. It is not the number before the decimal. It is the number of places before the decimal. So let me zoom this a little more. The number is 23.6. How many places do you see before the decimal? There are 2 places before the decimal. So number of places before the decimal is 2. How many places before the decimal here? 41.8. So before the decimal there are 2 places. So 2. How many places before the decimal? It is 3.61. So only one place before the decimal. So on. I'm going to repeat this. It is not the number before the decimal. It is the number of places before the decimal. I will agree with you that this might be sounding and looking a little too vague, but I want you to humor me and do as I say. So what we are going to do is we are going to fill up this entire column with number of places before the decimal. 5.92, there are one place before the decimal. 638, there is no decimal, which means there are 0 places before the decimal. Is that correct? That's wrong. When you write a number like 638, you know what the number actually is? This is not 638. I will tell you what the actual number is. The actual number is 638.0. Because there is a 0 after the decimal, we don't write it. So where is the decimal? If there is no decimal, which means the decimal is here at the end. So it is 638.0. So if the number is 638, it is actually 638.0, which means there are 3 places before the decimal. Let's continue with finishing off the table then. We have 73.9. 73.9, 2 places before the decimal. 81.2, 2 places before the decimal. 97.9, 2 places before the decimal. 2 places before the decimal. 2 places before the decimal. 648, 3 places before the decimal. 2 places before the decimal. This is 4 places before the decimal. This is 3 places before the decimal. This is 3 places before the decimal. And 2614 is 4 places before the decimal. Let's continue. 4.816 is 1 place before the decimal. Before the decimal there is only 4. So it's 1 place. 2 places, 3 places, 3 places, 1 place, 3 places, 3 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the decimal is after the 3. So there are 5 places before the decimal. And 1, 2, there are 2 places before the decimal. I'm going to repeat this and I'm going to keep repeating this over and over again till it is embedded in your brains. Log of a number has 2 parts. One part is called the characteristic while the other is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide. What do you mean by you decide? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. So I have found the number of places before the decimal. Now to find the characteristic, it is number of places before the decimal minus 1. So characteristic is number of places before the decimal minus 1. 2 places before the decimal, 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1. Characteristic is 1. Number of places before the decimal is 2, minus 1 is 1. Number of places before the decimal is 2, minus 1 is 1. Number of places before the decimal is 1, minus 1 is 0. Number of places before the decimal is 1, minus 1 is 0. Number of places before the decimal is 3, minus 1 is 2. Let's continue. All you have to do is subtract 1 from number of places before the decimal. So 2 places before the decimal, minus 1 is 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. 3 places before the decimal, minus 1 is 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1 place before the decimal, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1, 2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 4, 1. I'm going to repeat this. Log of a number has two parts to it. One part is called the characteristic and the other is called the mantissa. Let the mantissa be, come to the characteristic. Characteristic is decided by you. How is the decision made? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. We stop right there. Characteristic is done. We now come to finding the mantissa. Now, to start finding the mantissa, the first thing that I need to do is, I need to look at the same number, but now when I look at it, I will look at it without the decimal. What does that mean? What it means is, whatever your number is, I don't care. Remove the decimal, I don't care where the decimal is. Or I'll tell you one thing. You saw where the decimal was, you wrote down the characteristic, then the job of the decimal is done. Now you don't need to worry about the decimal anymore. So when you look at 23.6 now for the mantissa, you will not look at it as 23.6. You will remove the decimal and you will look at it as 236. When you look at 41.8, you will now look at it as 418. When you look at 3.61, you will now look at it as 361. 5.92 will be looked at as 592. 638, the decimal is after the 8. So with the decimal or without the decimal, the number remains the same and it is 638. 73.9, without the decimal will be 739. Let's continue and fill this up. All you have to do is write down the number without the decimal. So this is going to be 812. This is 979. Then you have a 736. Then you have a 692. Then you have a 648. Then you have a 5297. Then you have a 6174. Then you have a 9236. Then you have a 3438. Then you have a 2614. Then you have a 4816. I'm sorry. 4816. Then you have 8466. Then you have 3462. 23624. 73166. 43268. 64344. 89323 and 36218. Log of a number has two parts to it. One part is called the characteristic while the other is called the mantissa. Characteristic, you decide. What do you mean by you decide? You decide meaning the number of places before the decimal, count it, subtract 1 from it, and that's your mantissa. What about, that's your characteristic, sorry. What about the mantissa? For the mantissa, you will now look at the number without the decimal. So for the mantissa, look at the number without the decimal. So what have I done? I have looked at the number without the decimal and I have written it down. It is the number without the decimal. Now there is a column called approximating the number. Forget it. Not required. So skip it, but please, I beg and I plead, understand that we are skipping it. People make a mistake. The next entry, they start writing here only. Please don't do that. I beg and I plead. We have skipped this column. Skip it for now. So remember that it's skipped. Or do one thing, with a pencil, with a very light hand, draw a line on it so that you know that you don't have to write anything here. If you can remember that you don't have to write anything here, it's okay. But if you want to make it sure that you don't want to write anything here, take a pencil and draw a line on that column so that you know you don't have to write anything here. Let's come to the next, mantissa. How do you find the mantissa? Well, for the mantissa, we look at the number without the decimal. Fine. I'm looking at the number without the decimal. 23.6 is 236. Where do I look at it? This is where the log table comes in. So now what I want you to do is, I want you to have the log table in front of you. Your log table, or it says log of n. There is a 10 at the bottom. Forget that. Look here, log of n. We are trying to find log of some number n. How are we going to do that? Well, this is the table. So I'm going to describe the table to you first, or I'm going to elaborate and tell you what the table has. So the table has an n that starts from 10 on the first page and keeps going up till 54 on the first page. Correct? Then when you turn the page, you will see that on the next page you have a 55 right up till a 90. Right up till a 99. Is that right? Now, that has a further bifurcation. What is the further bifurcation? Well, the further bifurcation is that there are horizontal numbers, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there is something called as proportional parts, which again has a 1 to 9. This is what the table has. What do you have to do? I'll tell you. Pick your first number. Well, my first number was 23.6. So, number of places before the decimal were 2, minus 1 is 1. And without the decimal, the number is 236. Now, if the number is 236, I am now going to check for the mantissa. How? From the table. In the table, you can always look for the first 2 digits in the first column. If you notice, you can look for 2 digits in the first column. What is your number? Your number is 236. So we are going to look at 236 in the first column. But will I look for 236? No, I can look for only 2 digits. Then I am going to look at 23. So in your log table, we are going to look for 23. So I'm going to zoom the table a little so that it's easier to look at. This is 23. Now what I want you to do is have a small scale handy. This will help you in taking the reading. Keep it below the 23. So this is the 23. Keep it below the 23. And the scale is perfect 2 page. Now the problem is you have it on your screen. I will show it to you on your screen also. If you can get a printout, or by chance if you have a log book, that would also be great. If you have a log book, you will have the same entries. So 23, 6. So under 23, we are looking at the 6th value. So 23, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what we are looking at. So under 23, 6 is 3729. Let me quickly show this to you on the log sheet on a soft copy also. This is the soft copy of your log sheet. Let me show it to you in the soft copy. We are looking at a 23.6. So this is the 23. So let me use a highlighter. 23. Let me color the 23. Under the 23, we are looking for 6. Do you notice the junction right here? The 23, 6. The 23, 6 is 3729. And that is going to be your mantissa 3729. 23, 6. I hope you've understood it. Let me come back to the sheet. So, under the 23, we are looking at the 6. So, 23, 6. 23, 6 is 3729. And that's it. That's your mantissa. Let's write down the mantissa then. 3729. So, the mantissa for 236 is going to be 3729. Now make sure you don't write it in the approximating column. And I want a small favor. I hope you understand what left align or right align is. Well, what you do is in your table, you write it to one side. So what I want you to do is, I want you to write this number to the right hand side. I want a little space in front. So I'll show you how to write it. 23, 6 is 3729. This is how I want you to write it. I want you to leave a little space in front. Is that right? Can we go to the next one? 41.8. Let me show it to you here first. 41.8 is 418 for me without the decimal. So if it is 418 without the decimal, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my scale horizontally on 41. Correct? Now what you can also do is, now because this is gone up, if I have to bring that down, the 41 will disappear. So I want 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is the 8th column. So it is 6, 2, 1, 2. Or what you can do is, let me zoom in, and you can count. You want 8, no? Start counting. Just remember one thing. First column is not 1. First column is 0. So start counting from 0. Don't start counting from 1. So if you want 41, what do we want? 418. So 418 is going to be 41. Now 8 is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it is going to be 6, 2, 1, 2. Let me show it to you on the soft copy as well, so that then there is no confusion. So, four one. So this is going to be 4-1. Sorry, that shifted a little. Let me erase that and draw that again. Yeah, this is kind of 4-1, and in 4-1 I want 8. So for now I will scroll, but I will show you otherwise also. This is 8. And this is 418. It is 6212. So that is the mantissa, which is 6212. Let me write that down. Or what you could also do is, like I said, you could count, which is once you've come to 41. So this is 41. I want 8. Start counting from 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 2, 1, 2. So the mantissa is going to be 6, 2, 1, 2. So let's write down 418 is 6, 2, 1, 2. Now if you've understood what we are doing, let me do one more and then I'll ask you to do something. So let's go to the next one, and the next one is we are doing the next one that we are doing is 361. So under 36, I have to look for 1. Don't look what the number is here. We don't care. It is 361. So first 2 digits in the first column and then the next in the next column. So in 36, I am looking for 1. So in 36, I am looking for 1. So if I put my scale horizontally under 36, correct? This is 360, this is 361. So it's 5575. So 5575, 361 is 5575. What I want you to do is, I want you to pause the video and now try to do this yourself. You know up till where? I want you to do this yourself up till 52.97, which is 5297, or rather till 648 or 648, and then stop. Start the video again, check if the values that you are getting and I am getting are the same. If they are fantastic, then we will move on to the next part. So I want you to pause the video here and try to find the mantissa yourself, and till then I will continue. So pause here and then try it yourself and then unpause the video. So I am going to move on. 592. So in 59, I am looking for the second column. If in 59, I am looking for the second value. So let's go back to the sheet. In 59, we are looking for the second value. '59 is not on this page. Let's go to the next page. 59. Under 59, we are looking for 2. Perfect. So under 59, we are looking for 2. So the 59.2 value is going to be 7723. We wanted 59.2. Let me unzoom that a little. Under 59, we are looking for 2. So 59.2 is 7723. Let's write that down. If you want to see it in the sheet, on the second page, under 59, put your scale. In 59, we are looking for 2. So it is going to be 7723. Write that down. 7723. Again, why we are doing this, where we are going to use it is none of your business. Just understand how to take a log, that's it. Next, 638. So in 63, I am looking for 8. Again, in your sheets, under 63, we are going to look for 8. So it is going to be on the second page because the first page only has up till 54. 63, we are looking for 8. So 63, here it is. Under 63, we are looking for 8. So 63, we are looking for 8. Under 63, 8 is going to be 8048. So 63, 8 is going to be 8048. Let's write that down. 8048. Let me show you one last value on both, which is the PDF as well as the sheet. So I'm looking for a 63. So 63. So the first thing that I need to do is move this. Under 63, we are looking for 8. And the value right there is 8048. So we are looking for a 8048. So 63, 8 is 8048. Now I am not going to show it to you on both. I want you to do it yourself, and I am going to do it myself in my sheet. So the next is 739. 739 is under 73. I am looking for the 9th column. So under 73, I am looking for the 9th column. Under 73, the 9th column is going to be 8686. So write that down. 8686. 812. Correct? 812. So under 81, I am going to look for the second column. Under 81, I am going to look for the second column. So under 81, I am going to look for the second column. 0, 1, 2. Second column. 9096. So 9096. 9096. 979. So in 97, I am looking for the 9th column. In 97, which will be like the end of the second page. In 97, you are looking for the 9th column. So in 97, you are looking for the 9th column. Is 9908. The last column basically. 9908. Let's write that down. 9908. Next, in 73, you are looking for 6. So 736 is in 73, we are looking for 6. So in 73, somewhere here, we are looking for 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 866, 9. So 866, 9. 692. So under 69, I am looking for 2. 69, I am looking for 2. So 2 is basically the third column. 0, 1, 2. 8401. 8401. Sorry. 8401. 648. In 64, we are looking at 8. 64, we have to look at 8. In 64, we are going to look at 8. 64, we are going to look at 8. In 64-8, the value is 8116. 64-8. 8116. So 648 is going to be 8116. So we are stopping at 648. I'm going to do a quick recap. Log of a number has two parts. Let me show that to you. Log of a number has two parts. One part is called the characteristic while the other is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide. What do you mean by you decide? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. So characteristic is number of places before the decimal minus 1. Now mantissa. For the mantissa, we look at the number without the decimal. So we look at the number without the decimal. This is the number without the decimal. Where do we look for the number without the decimal? In the log table. How are we looking at it? The first two digits in the first column and then the third digit in the next column. Fine. Now the problem is that we are entering a 4-digit number. You see a 5297. The problem with 5297 is that it's a 4-digit number. Now because it is a 4-digit number, what happens is, up till now, we were looking for the first two digits in the first column. Am I right? So first two digits, if the first two digits were 23, first column. Then if the next digit was 4, then I was looking at the fourth column in the 23rd row. Now the problem is, we have 4-digit numbers. So we will look for the first two digit in the first column, the third digit in the next column. What about the fourth digit? Well, this is what we are going to do. Our number is 5297. So this is what we are going to do. The first step remains the same, whatever you are doing. In 52, you will look at the ninth value. So the first 3 digit looking remains the same. In 52, you will look at the ninth column. Let me show that to you. So the first bit of it will remain the same. Under 52, I will look at the 7th column if I am right. No, in the 9th column, if it is 5297. So I will look for, under 52, I will look for the 9th column. So let me do a thing. Let me highlight 52. This is 52. Let me line that up a little. In 52, we will look for the 9th column. So this is basically the 9th column. Now in 52, the 9th column is 7235. Now usually I would write this down, which is in 52, the 9th column is 7235. But the problem is, if you come back to your number is not just 529. It is not 529. It is 529 and there is another 7 to it. What are you going to do? What you are going to do is, you are going to move on to the next column. If you notice, there is another column there which is again has numbers starting from 1 up till 9. Here is where you are going to look at the 4th digit. So what is your 4th digit? 7. Let me highlight that for you. This is your 4th digit. So under 52, you look for the ninth column. This is the ninth column. And after the ninth, I have to look for the seventh column. Now what you are going to do is, you are going to add these two values. And 7235 plus 6 will become 7241. Because 5 plus 6 is 11, 1 carry, 4, 7241. So the mantissa here is going to be 7241. Let's write that down. The mantissa here is going to be 7241. So 5297 is 7241. Let me show that to you again. But in this sheet, number 1, under 52, we need to look for 9. So under 52, 9. So let me put a scale horizontally under 52. Under 52, 9 is basically the last column. So under 52, 9 is 7235. Correct? But it doesn't stop there. There is another 7. So now I have to look for the 7th column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The value in the 7th column is 6. Add that 6 to the 7235. 7235 plus 6 is going to be 7235 plus 6 is 7241. So the answer to that is going to be 7241, and my mantissa is 7241. I hope everybody has understood this. For 3 digits, first 2 digits in the first column, the next digit in the next column. Wherever the intersection is, that's your value. For the 4th digit, you will look for the first 2 digit in the first, next digit in the next column, write that down. In the same row, go to the next column and check the last digit, add the 2, and that is going to be your answer. So I'm going to do one more, and then what I again want you to do is the same. I want you to pause, try it yourself, and then come back to the video. So I will do this. The next is 6174. So under 61, I have to look for 7, and in that I have to look for 4. So let's do that then. 61 is basically going to be on the next page. So 61, let me move this to 61. Sorry. In 6-1 we are looking for 7. So in 6-1 we are looking for 7. So the value there is 7903. But the problem is the number doesn't stop there. The number doesn't stop at 617. The number is 6174. Then I will go for the 4th column here. So let me draw that 4th column for you. That is your 4th column. The value at the 4th column is 3. So we add the 7903 with the 3 and we get a 7903 plus 3, which is 7906. So the mantissa for 6174 is going to be 7906. So let me write that down. It is going to be 7906. So if you've understood this, what I want you to do is, I want you to continue this now up till the number 3438. I want you to stop there and then, sorry, up till the number 346.2. So 3462, and then I will again come back and help you. So till then continue. I'm going to the next number 93236. So in 92 I will look for 3, and in that I will look for 6. 9236. 92 is going to be on the next page. So 92 in 92. So I'm going to keep my scale horizontally under 92. In 92, I'm looking for 3. So 3 is basically the fourth column. So 0, 1, 2, 3. It is 9, 6, 5, 2. And it is not 9, 92, 3. It is 9, 2, 3. Hold on for a second. Let me check what the number is. It is 9, 2, 3, 6. So in 92, I am looking for 3. So it is basically 0, 1, 2, 3. And in that, I am looking for a 6. In that, 6 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the value is going to be 3 here. So 92, 3 was 9652, and in that 6 is 3. So it is going to be 9652 plus 3, which is 9655. Let's write that down. 9655. Let's go to the next, and that is 3438. So under 34, I am looking for 3, and in that I am looking for 8. So 34, 3. Three, 4, 3, 8. So 3, 4, 3, and in that I am looking for a 8. So it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The entry there is 10. So 343 is 5353 plus 10 is 5363. So your mantissa is 5363. So let's write that down. 5363. Let's move on to the next one, and that is 2614. So in 26 I am going to look for 1, and in that I am going to look for 4. 2614. In 26 I am going to look for 1. So in 26 I am looking for 1. So 261 is 4166 is 261. Now my number is 2614. So in 26 I will look for 1, and in that I will look for 4. So 261 is 4166. In that, when I look for 4, is going to be 7. So it is going to be 4166 plus 7. 4166 plus 7 is going to be 4173. So the answer is going to be 4173. Let's write that down. 4173. Next is 4816. So in 48 we will look for 1, in that we will look for 6. So 4816, in 48 we will look for 1. 48 is going to be 6821. 4816, in that I am looking for 6. So it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. So it is going to be 6821 plus 5, which is going to be 6826. So I have 6826. Let's go next. 8466. So in 84 will be on the second page. 84, I am looking for 6, and in that I am looking for another 6. So 84. In 84, I am looking for a 6. So in 84, 6 is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9274. And in that also I am looking for a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The answer is 3. So 6 here is 9274 plus 3 is 9277. So it is going to be 9277. Next is 3462. In 34 we look for 6, in that we look for 2. 3462. In 34 we look for 6. So in 34 when you look for 6, it is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be 5391. So it is 3462. So in this I will add the mean difference of 2, which is 3. So 5391 plus 3 is 5394. So 34, 6, 2 is 5394. Thirty-four, 6, 2 is 5394. Now if you notice, we have come to a 5-digit number. So first 2 digits in the first column, next digit in the next column, and next digit in the mean difference column. Where will I get this from? One more digit? Not going to happen. You cannot, like, does that mean that log for 5 digits does not exist? They exist. You at your level with the given log table cannot find it. We can only find logs for 4-digit numbers. We cannot find logs for 5-digit numbers or anything more than 4 basically. So what are we going to do? What we are going to do is we are going to convert the 5-digit number into a 4-digit number. And that is why I gave you a column called approximating the number. What does this column do? If the number is a 4-digit number, okay. 3-digit, okay. 2-digit, okay. 1-digit, okay. But if the number is anything more than a 4-digit number, we have to approximate it to a 4-digit number. So this column basically is going to approximate the number to a 4-digit number. How? The basic mathematical logic that we do after the decimal. So remember, if suppose you are calculating something and the answer comes out to be 10.66666666. So what we do is we say 6. So we add 1 and make it 10.67. That is what you do. If the last digit is 5 or greater than 5, you add 1 and exclude the rest of the digits. If it is less than 5, you just exclude the rest of the digits anyway. What do I mean? When I have to approximate the number 2364 to a 4-digit number, I will check what the last digit is. What is the last digit? 4. Is it 5? No. Is it greater than 5? No. Then remove it. Then you will look for 2362. Sir, won't that be wrong? It will be, but then we don't have a choice. This is the closest approximation to 2364 through 23624 that we can look for. We can look for 2362. Okay, then what about 73166? Same. Last digit is 6. How will you approximate? Is it 5? No. Is it greater than 5? Yes. Then approximate 1 and make this 7317. 8 is greater than 5. Add 1 and approximate 4327. 4 is less than 5. 6434. 3 is less than 5. 8932. 8 is greater than 5, approximate 3622. So we are now going to look for the mantissa, not for these 5-digit numbers, but for these 4-digit numbers, because we can look for mantissas only for 4 digits and not for 5 digits. Fine, then let's continue. 2362. So in 23, 6 and in that 2. You can again do one thing, pause the video, try it yourself and then check if whatever I am doing is the same as what you've gotten or not. So 2362. In 23, we are looking for 6. In that we are looking for 2. So in 23, we are looking for 6. So in 23, we are looking for 6. Is that right? In 23, 6 is 3729. In that we are looking for 2, which is 4. So 3729 plus 4 is going to be 3733. 23, 6. Let me pull that down for you a little. 23, 6, 2. So it is 3729 plus 4, which is 3733. Let's write that down. 3733. Let's go to the next. 7317. In 73, I will look for 1 and in that I will look for 7. 7317. So in 73, I will look for 1. Sorry. In 73, I will look for 1. So in 73, 1. And in that, I have to add 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4. So in 8639, I have to add 4. 8639 plus 4 is going to be 8643. So this is going to be 8643. Next, 4327. 4327. In 43, I will look for 2. In that, I will look for 7. 4327. 43, here it is. So in 43, I will look for 2. So in 43, I will look for 2. 0, 1, 2. And in that, I will look for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So it is going to be 6355 plus 7, which is basically going to be 12. So add 1. So it's going to be 6362. So 6355 plus 7 is 6362. So 6362. Next, 6434. Under 64, we are looking for 34. 6434. 643. In 64, when you look for 3, this is going to be 3, which is 8092. In that, we are looking for 4. In that, 4 is going to be 3. So add the 3 to 8082 is going to be 8085. So the mantissa is 8085. Next is 8932. In 89, we are going to look for 32. In 89, we are going to look for 32. 89, we are going to look for 32. 89.3 is going to be 9509. In that we have to look for a 2, which is 1. So it is going to be 9509 plus 1, which is 9510. So 8932 is 9510. 9510. And lastly, 3622. In 36, we look for 2, and in that we look for 2. 3622. 36, 2, 5 5s 8 7, and in that also 2 is 2. So 5 5 8 7 plus 2 is 5 5 8 9. This is going to be, and that's it. We have all the mantisas. So I'm again going to do a quick recap. Log of a number has two parts to it. One part is called the characteristic, the other is called the mantissa. Characteristic you decide. How do you decide it? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. Mantissa you get from the table. How do you get from the table? You look at the number without the decimal. But where? You look at the number without the decimal in that table. The first two digits are looked at in the first column, the next digit in the next column, and the next digit in the last column. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to continue this table, which I also want you to draw in your books. But now what I'm going to do is, I am going to find the log of a number in this table by this rule as an example so that you remember it next time. So suppose I ask you to find the log of, let's take any random number. Let's take 8. Can you see it? Yes. 8, 9, 6.3. So if you are taking log of 896.3, characteristic is number of places before the decimal minus 1. Before the decimal there are 3 places. So 3 minus 1 is 1. So the characteristic is 1. For the mantissa, you now look at the number without the decimal. Without the decimal, 896.3 is 8963. But how do you look at the number without the decimal? In the table. Where is this table? Well, the table is laid out in a certain way. The first column of the table has numbers starting from 10, 11, 12 and keep going up till 99. Correct? Then there is a horizontal bifurcation where there is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there is another bifurcation which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So you look for the first two digits, which is 89 in the first column. So let's say 89 is somewhere here. In 89 you have to look for 6. So 89 6 will be, this is 89 and this is 6. You will get some value A, and then in the same row 89 you have to look for a 3. So in the same row 89 you look for another value 3, which is your value B, and the mantissa is going to be A plus B. So let's quickly check what 89 6 is in our sheets. 89 6 is going to be, this is your 89. In 89 6 is going to be 9523. Check. 89 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 9523. So let's write that down. My A here, this value right here is 9523, and my B here, in 89 I have to look for a 6, and in that I have to look for a 3. So 89 6. And in that I have to look for a 3. 3 is 1. So then I am adding 1 to it. So that basically becomes 9523 plus 1, which is 9524. And this right here is the mantissa. I want you to pay close attention to whatever I am saying and writing down, because they ask these questions in your as theory. In MCQs, they will ask you as this, or they ask you as true or false, as theory. So these questions are asked, is this true, is this false? And then you have to tell them whether it is true or false. So please make sure that you understand whatever I am saying right now. Log of a number has two parts. One part is called the characteristic, while the other is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide, which is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. The mantissa you get from the table. You look for the first two digits in the first column, you look for the next digit in the next column, and you look for the fourth digit in the mean difference column. Add the two values and you get your mantissa. Done? Come back to the table. Then let's seal the deal here. I want to ask you something. Number of places before the decimal. This number has two places before the decimal. This has 2, this has 1, then there is 3, 2, 2, 2, and so on. Let me take a few examples. Like how many places can you have before the decimal? So I can have something like a 963.84. There are 3 places before the decimal. I can have a 10603.94. How many places before the decimal? There are 5 places before the decimal. So can I also have a number that looks like 13063 and the decimal is here in between the 0. So there is 2.5 places before the decimal and 2.5 places after the decimal. Is that correct? Is that allowed? Not allowed. You can never have decimal number of places before the decimal. I hope you understand what I am saying. The number of places before the decimal will never ever be a decimal value. There will be perfect places. You are counting, no? 1 place, 2 place, 3 place, 4 place, 5 place. You are never going to have a 2.5 place before the decimal. Not happening. What am I trying to say? What I am trying to say is that if the number of places before the decimal is always and always going to be an integral value. What do I mean by integral value? Non-decimal. Then can I say the characteristic is also an integral value, which is a non-decimal? Then let's write that down, and that is the characteristic is always an integral value. The characteristic is never ever a decimal value. Why? Common sense. Number of places before the decimal is never a decimal value. When you subtract 1 from it, will also never be a decimal. So the number of places before the decimal is always integral. Characteristic is always integral. The characteristic is always and always an integral value. Let's come back to the table. So number of places is 2, characteristic is 1, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, 0, 2, 0. It's always and always an integral value, whole number, never a decimal. So, characteristic is always integral, and therefore mantissa is always decimal. What do I mean? This is wrong. It is not 3729. It is 0.3729. That is why I asked you to leave a little place in the front. This is 0.6212. This is 0.5575. Let me finish that off. 0.0. I want you to also finish that off. Put a 0 point everywhere. Then we'll again discuss it and move ahead. So, log of a number has 2 parts. One part is the characteristic, the other is the mantissa. The characteristic you decide it is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. Since the number of places before the decimal is always a whole number value, the characteristic is always and always a whole number value. The mantissa you get from the table. How do you get from the table? The first 2 digits in the first column, the next digit in the next column, and the third digit in the third column. And the mantissa is always and always a decimal value. We always write it as 0.3729. Let's make a note of that. So can I say this that I've written is wrong then? This cannot be 9524. This has to be 0.9524. And let me write that down. Always written as 0.9524. always written as a decimal value, that is 0 point. Log of a number has two parts. One part is the characteristic, the other is the mantissa. The characteristic you decide it is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. The mantissa you get from the table. How do you get from the table? You look at the number without the decimal, first two digits in the first column, next digit in the next column, and then add the mean difference. This value is always and always a decimal value. Characteristic is always integral, mantissa is always decimal. And they ask you this, they ask you in the exam under an MCQ saying that what is the integral part of the log called, or what is the decimal part of the log called, or the decimal part of the log is called the mantissa. Is it true, false? I don't know, maybe. Yes, it is true. The whole number part or the integral part of the log is called the characteristic, is also true. So please make a note of this in your minds. I have given it to you in writing as well. This you are also going to make in your notebooks on the first page. There is a lot to write which we are going to continue after this. So let's seal the deal then. For every number I have two things. I have the characteristic and I have the mantissa. Then what is log? Nothing. It is characteristic plus mantissa. So all I have to do is add the characteristic to the mantissa and I have my answer. But you tell me 1 plus 0.3729 is 1.3729. 1 plus 0.6212 is 1.6212. And that's it. That is what brings the table to a sweet end. And that is the last bit. And the last bit is that log is characteristic plus mantissa. What was your characteristic here? My characteristic here was 1 and my mantissa was 0.9524. Then the log is 1.9524, or if you want to write it as 1 plus 0.9524, which is basically 1.9524. That's your answer. Let's do that with everything here. So I hope for this you don't need me to zoom in. 1 plus, up till where can we see this? 174, correct. So 1 plus 0.3729 is going to be 1.3729. This is going to be 1.6212. This is going to be 0.5575. This is going to be 0.7723. This is going to be 2.8048. This is going to be 1.8686. This is going to be 1.9096. This is going to be 1.9908. This is going to be 1.8669. This is going to be 1.8401. This is going to be 2.8116. This is going to be 1.7241. This is going to be 3.7906. Then this is going to be 2.9655. This is going to be 2.5363. This is going to be 3.4173. This is going to be 0.6826, 1.9277, 2.5394, 2.3733, 0.8643, 2.6362, 2.8085, 4.9510 and 1.5589. This should be your final table. I'm going to quickly repeat this. Log of a number has two parts. One part is called the characteristic while the other is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide. How do you decide it? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. For the mantissa, you look at the number without the decimal, the first two digits in the first column, the next in the next, and then you add the mean difference of the fourth digit. Best characteristic is always and always an integral value, while mantissa is always a decimal value, always written as 0 point. Eventually we bring the two together, which is characteristic plus mantissa. So it is going to be 1 plus 0.9524, which is 1.9524. And this is your entire table having done that. This is how you take a log. What we are going to do is we are going to take logs again. But now when we take logs, we are not going to draw the table. The table will happen in your head. You need to know what needs to be done. The number is given to you. When now I have to take a log, I will look at the number of digits, number of places before the digits, -1 is the characteristic. Look at the number without the decimal, look for the mantissa, put a decimal and then write down the mantissa. And this is how you take a log. I want you to make sure that you thoroughly practice and get a grip of how to take a log. Let me do one thing before I continue. Let me take a few examples where I want you to now take log, but now without actually drawing the table. So now if I ask you to take a log of what? Log of, let's take a random number, let's say 66.71. So log of a number has two parts. One part is characteristic. How do you find the characteristic? Number of places before the decimal. How many places before the decimal? 2. -1 is 1. So this is your characteristic. And then what do? You write the mantissa. So you put a decimal and write the mantissa after that. Now for the mantissa, you will look at this number without the decimal. What is the number? 6671 without the decimal. Or what you can say is, see, number of places before the decimal is 2 plus the mantissa. How do I look for the mantissa? 2 places without the decimal, it is 6671. So the first 2 places in the first column. So in 66, I will look for 7. In that I will look for 1. So in 66, I will look for 7 and in that I will look for 1. 66.7 is 8241 and in that 1 is 1. So 8241 plus 1 is 8242. So this is going to be plus 0.8242. So it is going to be 1.8242. Let's take one more example. Log of 438.17. Characteristic is 3 places before the decimal. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Plus mantissa will be written as 0 point. But how? I will look at this number without the decimal. But sir, without the decimal, this number will become 43817. 5 digits. Fine, approximate, no? This is greater than 5, then add 1. So look for 4382. In 43 you will look for 8, in that you will look for 2. So 4382, 43, 8 and in that 2. 43, in that 8 is 6415 and in that you will look for 2 which is 2. So 6415 plus 2 is 6417. So this will become 0.6417. Add the 2, you get 2.6417. And that is how you take a log of a number. So the entire table, but now in your head. Let me repeat this one last time so that I know that this is done. Please make sure that you practice this at least 2 to 3 times before we continue to the next part. Log of a number has 2 parts. One part is called the characteristic while the other is called the mantissa. The characteristic you decide. What do you mean by you decide? The decision is left to you. There is no table required for the characteristic. And what is the decision? It is the number of places before the decimal minus 1. Now because the number of places before the decimal is always an integral value, the characteristic is always an integral value. The mantissa on the other hand is You look at the number without the decimal. No matter where the decimal is, remove the decimal and now look at the number without the decimal. You look at the number without the decimal. The first two digits are seen in the first column, the next digit in the next column, and in the next digit, you will look for the value there and add these two values. The characteristic is always an integral value. The mantissa is always a decimal value, always written as 0 point whatever the value is. You bring the two together and log is characteristic plus mantissa. So 1 plus 0.9524 is going to be 1.9524, and that is how you take a log of a number. You can only take logs of 4-digit numbers at your level. Does that mean that logs of 5-digit numbers are not available? 6-digit numbers are not available? No, they are available. But at your level, you can't find them. Your level, you can only find logs of 4-digit numbers. So if you are asked a 5-digit or a 6-digit or a 7-digit or an 8-digit, what you are going to do is you are going to approximate them to a 4-digit number. How? The same logic. Remove the decimal. Look at your 5th digit. If it is 5 or greater than 5, add 1 to the last and then remove the rest. If it is not 5 or greater than 5, then skip it as and how it is. What I want you to do is make sure that you have this on a proper page, on the first page, because this covers a lot of theory. A lot of theoretical questions that are asked will be covered in here. Yes, your paper will have theoretical questions also, which is where these small concepts will come in handy. Where they ask you these small concept based questions where you need to know the concept. If you know the concept, you can answer the question. So I want you to make sure that you have this. So let me show it to you in 2 parts. This is part 1. And then this is part 2. So you can draw it in 2 parts. This is part 3. I will unzoom it for you so that it fits on one page also and you can look at it. So, this is how it looks. Then you unzoom it on one page. Correct? After having done this, I want you to make sure that you practice this. Log of a number. We have done this table wise, but we are not going to do this table wise when we are actually finding logs. We are going to do this in our own heads. We are not going to use a log table. We are not going to draw a table. Where we are going to use it, how are we going to use it, like I said, is none of your business. For you right now is just humor me and understand how to take logs. The rest will automatically fall into place. That you will not have to worry about. So, I'm assuming that understanding of knowing how to take a log is understood. We move on to the next bit. And again, having a printed copy is not important or not really required. You can do this over 2 cell phones. But if you really have a printer, or if you have somebody who can give you a printout close by to you, right under your house, there is a shop, then take a printout. But don't risk it. Please don't go out. Do not go out if you are not required. If you can get a printout at home, fantastic. If it's right below your building, no problem. Otherwise, please, it's a humble request. Do not go out anywhere. Do not expose yourself to anything. We are still peaking with the number of cases in India, in Maharashtra especially. So please make sure that you do not go out. Three sheets, 1, 2, and 3. This has 2 pages. We are going to use the second page later. Thank you very much.